Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Um, I'm coming on to you live from Singapore. I'm Rebecca, a digital mompreneur of three young girls, and I'm really, really super excited today to be able to have Janet Mai all the way from Vancouver. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for having
I'm
me.
so honored to have you on here, and I'm really excited to have you share your story, your inspiring story with everyone. So, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone watching?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Janet Mai. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, in BC, and I'm 35 years old. I have two dogs. I'm the youngest of eight children. We immigrated from Vietnam in like 1987. So I've been here since I was 6 months old. And I currently, yeah, have an online business. I've been doing it since almost the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, and I've been doing it full time for a couple of years now. And I love eating food. So
Same.
yeah, I love food.
Yeah, that's nice. So, okay, so I would like you to, answer a few questions and, let the audience know, like, what was life like before you started this digital business a few years ago?
Hmm. Yeah, life was I was known to be doing lots of jobs. I was always juggling at least 2 to 4 jobs at the same time. I worked for my family business since I was like very young, like I think 13, 14, or 15. I don't know. It's so long ago now. But I'm at a very young age and I was always trying to get ahead of time because my parents growing up, they were never around. They were immigrant parents of eight children, right? So it was very tough for them to be at home. And so we kind of had to fend for ourselves. And yeah, and so I kind of followed in their footsteps, realizing that I wasn't getting ahead in life. I was really selling all my time just to juggle all these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and which is, I would suppose know what made you step into this business, this digital business. Like, there's a link, right?
Mhm. Well, like I said, I was working so many jobs. One of my job was a flight attendant, and I loved it. But I called it fast food traveling. So I would be traveling all around the world, Europe and everything. But you have 24 hours to check out the whole city. But you didn't sleep. Like I didn't sleep all night. Like take a nap for 30 minutes. Have 12 hours to look at every like tourist attraction, shopping, food, and it was tiring. I'm like, man, this is not the traveling life that I wanted. It's fast food traveling for me. So that kind of sparked the interest of I want a digital business. I want to be able to travel like a local. I want to be able to just point my hand on a globe and end up anywhere in the world while, being able to have time for my family because I didn't want to consume all my time and work like my parents because I grew up with them never being around, and because I'm in my 30s, I'm like if I ever have a family one day, I'm going to want to be at home with my kids if I do have kids. But at least now I get to be at home with my dogs.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
have three, right?
I have two now. Yeah.
Oh,
My dog.
two.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Mhm.
Okay. And like after you step into this digital business, how has that changed your life?
Oh, it just completely changed. Like, I don't have to wake
Mm-hmm.
up to an alarm clock anymore. I actually wake up earlier than I used to wake up for work, and I start my day doing the things that I love. So I literally will wake up, I'll meditate, I will go to the beach, take a bike ride, walk my dogs, and really just focusing on things that I love. I try not to go on my phone first thing. And it's been so magical. And just the fact that my parents are proud of me, which is crazy because they didn't know if this was real when we first started, and to be able not to prove them wrong, but to make them proud and to show them that something like this is possible is a pretty amazing feeling for your immigrant parents who are pretty skeptical. And yeah, I get to live the life that I've kind of always wanted. I got to move downtown in Vancouver, and I get to take care of my parents the way that I want to. So my mom's actually here with staying with me here right now, for a bit. So it's been really nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
for me to hear anyone, coming from to being an immigrant family, to live in a new country is a whole new thing, and it can get very tough. And I've
Yeah.
heard stories where it gets so tough that many would want to give up and things like that. But like you discovered this, and yeah, you were able to change your life, and I think that's what inspired me so much. Like,
Mm.
how is it possible? Like, literally, like anyone could, step into this without knowing. I mean, were you technically knowledgeable before you
No,
stepped into this?
not necessarily. I did try a few online opportunities. Nothing like this. I went through the training like I was supposed to, and I didn't know. I didn't even know what I was doing for the first few months. I'm like, I'm just gonna just follow the training. I don't understand it, but I'll just follow the steps. Following the
Yeah.
steps is easy. So, but I still. It took me a while to actually understand the whole system and how it worked. All I knew that my first sale happened when I was in Bali on vacation, and I'm like, oh my god, I've never made money while I was on vacation before. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, nice. And then when things just started booming, it was like
Oh
this
man,
is it, right?
yeah, actually, it's really funny because every time when things started to boom, it was always when I was on vacation.
Wow.
And I did
So
that.
I should go on vacation, yeah?
Yes, I think that's the trick is to always be in a happy state, go on vacation, and have your business booming. Because, man, every time I'm like, oh, I've had too much wine and now I got to do some paperwork. But that was, I think, the hardest part.
That's nice. I should have that experience soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to believe at a moment in time because I'm so used to working with my hands, working in the nail. My family owns like nail salons, so I always had to work really hard for my money, right? And so the
Yeah.
fact that I'm just doing the things that I love and I have a system that
Mm,
runs behind that works for me was pretty amazing.
yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, to me as a stay-at-home mom, to have something that runs in the back, it's like wow. Like I literally don't have the blocks of time where people when they do part-time, the
Mhm.
blocks of time that they need to focus on the part-time job. I didn't have that, and I
Mhm.
thought, when I found this and I heard about this, a 24/7 business running at the back, and not me having to physically be there,
Mhm.
this was just the fit for me. So,
Mhm.
like, so anyone watching, like literally anyone who is craving for something that, like, yeah, that you want to run in the back while you enjoy what you do. Yeah, this is something that we get to enjoy when we step into this. Am I right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, would you have any advice to the audience? Like, the very last advice, if they are watching, if they want to know more about this digital business.
Yeah, I always seem to say the same advice. What my brother always told me is you always have to do things you've never done to get things you've never had, right? And
Mhm.
when I was searching for this business, it was 7 years of the same thing. Yeah, juggling new different jobs and all that stuff, but I was still in the same place. I was starting all over again. I wasn't getting ahead. So you really need to ask yourself is what do you really want in your life? And is your reason strong enough, big enough for you to even take that step? But as long as you take that step to something different, it will lead you to something else and ultimately lead you to where you need to be. So it's like, do you want to be that person that just stayed there for the last 10 years and wish you took action? Or do you want to be the person that took action? And to really just be open-minded, curious, and do your due diligence. Like when I saw this opportunity, I literally stalked everybody, messaged everybody, and just to make sure that it was real, right? And you don't really lose anything by checking it out. Like it was such a it's just so crazy. Like I checked it, I went to the webinar, I did my coaching call the next day within a couple hours, and then bam, I've been here ever since. So this may not be for everyone, but it could be for you, and that's all I'm saying. It doesn't hurt to check it out, and I'll leave you guys with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that is exactly, well said. And I really want everyone to hear what Janet has to say, and you know be inspired by all the stories that we've shared so far. And um, like what Janet said, do check it out. You have nothing to lose since it's non-obligatory. So take a look and see if this can change your life like how it changed ours.
Mhm.
So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you Janet once again
You're welcome.
for coming on live. I'm so honored, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone. Once again, see you.
Bye.
Bye.